let's go ahead and move on to our next story. President Biden did host the president of Kenya, President Ruto, which I'm pretty sure somebody's going to say, no, that's not his name, but I'm just going by how it's spelled. We're going to look at the outcome and what's to come from that. So let's get into it.
Yeah, but let's just talk about the strategy here, the strategy behind this state dinner. Why Kenya's president and why now?
I think this President Biden wanted to really make a point here that he was focused on the entire African continent and that he has found a real partner, he thinks, in the Kenyan president. When you listen to just kind of the breadth of issues that these two men are working on together, you get a sense that this has become a real fruitful partnership. Not only are they talking about investment, tech investment, they're talking about things like counterterrorism work on the African continent together. They're talking about how Kenya has agreed with the United States and been a strong supporter and ally of Ukraine and its fight against Russia. They're talking about, obviously, a big project together, a project's an understatement, I mean, a huge undertaking, trying to work on a global peacekeeping mission in Haiti. A lot of questions devoted at that press conference to Kenya's sort of commitment to leading an international peacekeeping force there on Haiti to try to combat gang violence, and the U.S. really supporting that effort, financially supporting it, giving logistics and equipment. So I think that a big part of the state visit was to showcase that this has become a true partnership across the board, and to celebrate that, and to let sort of the Kenyan president really have his day here in Washington, not only meeting with the president, the Oval Office visit, the state dinner tonight, but also yesterday he was meeting with House Speaker Mike Johnson. It was a real celebration of what I think has become a real partnership, Kira.
So, Selena, kind of walk us through the partnership here between these countries and the U.S. I mean, clearly kind of playing catch up here with China.
Yeah, Kira, exactly. You're seeing the president really roll out the red carpet here for the first state visit of an African leader in more than 15 years. And you're right, the U.S. here is trying to counter China's influence in the region. China has far outpaced the U.S. in terms of investments in Kenya and the African continent. And the president really making a pitch here that the U.S. can be a more reliable partner. One of the key parts of this new announcement, new partnership, is plans to help developing countries in Africa relieve debt. China has made huge investments. They've made major loans, high interest loans to low-income countries in Africa, and many of them saddled with a lot of debt. So this is a big part of that partnership, but it's not just in terms of trying to counter China's financial leverage and influence in the region. They also had major announcements in terms of emerging technologies, semiconductors, artificial intelligence. The president said that he wants Kenya to be the first African nation to receive funding from the CHIPS and Science Act. They're also increasing people-to-people ties, and in the security realm as well. The U.S. here, the president really wanting to show that the president is keeping his word on the commitment to the African continent, and also this state visit and rolling out the red carpet, also somewhat of a fig leaf to the Kenyan leader. He had promised to visit the African continent sometime in 2023. That obviously has not happened. The president did say he hopes to visit next year, but obviously that hinges on his re-election, Kira.
All right, Selena Wang, Mary Alice Parks, thank you both so much.
Take it away, Theos. I'll go second.
All right. So two things I think. First thing I'm gonna say is, folks, pay attention. This is how politics is done. Kenya is striking a deal with the big Satan to get something out of the moment. That's how politics are done. You get some concessions. At the same time, the word that out of all the things they said, counterterrorism, that was the thing. That is code for military forward operating base. So Kenya's going to allow U.S. presence and military troops, which we already do. We already got a base there. But Kenya's going to do that, and Kenya's going to risk some of their own people's lives to go and try to deal with Haiti. And in exchange for that, America's going to give them money and give them some economic base that really America still owns, but they're able to extract the wealth, but they can get some money into the continent, into the country as well. That's really what's going on there. The other thing about it is there's 52, 54 countries in Africa, and you pick Kenya. Okay. All right, no hate there. Go ahead, work the deal out. There's a lot of countries you're ignoring there, bro. And America's in other countries, don't get me wrong, but this is the first time you had one at the White House in what did they say, 10 years or something? So
15
so
years.
it's the game within the game.